Page 318. I looked around for Bisma but couldn't find her. Thanks, I said. I was pretty scared myself for a while. Sohrab grinned. Well, it's very impressive. Hell yeah, it was impressive, Zar said. I can't believe you dropped the F-bomb on stage at Renaissance Man. You're going to be a legend, dude. Mr. Jelani, all three of us cringed at the sound of algae, Tippett's familiar voice. Of course, Sohrab reminded us, most legends are dead. Good luck. I took a deep breath and turned to face our history teacher, who was walking toward me, folder in his hand. What did you think? What did I think? Tippett asked. I think that was the stupidest thing I ever saw a student do in many years of teaching. Why did you curse at one of the judges, Danielle? Your presentation was decent. Your essay was surprisingly not entirely of low quality, despite the fact that I disagreed with your position. You could have won. Now I think it'll be very difficult. Miss Smith was also very good. I looked at the old man who taught here for so many years, who never had a student be nominated, win Renaissance Man. I guess I didn't want to mess up losing your streak. You're a losing streak, sir, Tippett said. I guess I didn't want to mess up your losing streak, sir. Tippett let out a sigh. I was under the impression that I warned you against developing a wit. He thrust forward the folder he was holding. Anyway, whatever happens, congratulations are still in order. You passed my class. I took it from him and flipped it open. It was my essay, and on it, Tippett had written in green ink, A+. I just stood there and stared at the page. Well, was new. I mean, I was looking forward to losing my virginity and all, but there was no way it would feel better than this. By the time I looked up, Tippett was already walking away. And standing before me was Kaval Savari. So after all that, you didn't use any of my notes, she said. There was a scowl on her face, and her arms were crossed in front of her. She sounded irritated, to put it mildly. Sorry, I decided to go a different direction. F you. That whole speech was a giant middle finger for me, wasn't it? Just because I wanted you to be successful, just because I wanted you to do well, you thought what? That I was colonizing you? Using you for my financial benefit? What? Kaval, I didn't say any of that. Come on, we're friends. We're not friends, Danielle. We never were. I can't believe I wasted all that time on you. If all you wanted was a porn star, you should have just told me so, and I would have told you to go to hell. I stared at her, stunned. How did she know? How could she possibly know? That's right. I overheard you talking to Sohrab at our house. That girlfriend of yours must put on quite a show on that sex tape for you to just forget about me, and oh. Kaval suddenly turned pink and stepped back, and I realized she was looking at someone behind me. Hi, Mr. Johnley. We were just... I turned around to look at my father, who had a plastic smile painted on his face. Sorry, he said. I didn't mean to interrupt you young people. No, Dad, it's fine. That's when I finally saw Bisma. She was leaning against the back of the wall of the auditorium, arms folded, looking down at me with a heart-winning grin of hers, radiating joy. I'll be right back, I said. Excuse me. As I ran up to Bisma, she started to say something. She was probably going to congratulate me, but the words never escaped her lips. I captured them. It was a gentle, tentative, careful kiss, a light kiss, a small thing and an immense thing at the same time. Bisma pulled away a little and looked at me with eyes that set my heart on fire. What are you doing? She whispered. Making you a promise, I said. Then I kissed her again, and she kissed me back. And I understood what an oasis is when you're in the desert, and what dawn is when you're surrounded by darkness, and what music is when all you've known is silence, and what hope is when your heart is broken. It was when the hooting and wolf whistles began that I remembered we weren't alone. Bisma pulled away, blushing furiously. Then her eyes went wide, and she yelped and ducked. I should have ducked too, I guess, but instead I turned around to see what caused Bisma's reaction, and that was one of my mom's slippers struck me square in the face. I still hadn't fully realized what had happened when Aisha Jelani charged at me, armed with the remaining chapel, and started hitting me on the back with it. You can't do that in public, Mom yelled, punctuating each word with a fresh strike. Besharam, what is wrong with you? Ow, Mom, stop. Mom, come on. Bisma had turned traitor and was laughing at me. Actually, everyone was laughing at me. I felt my face go hot as my mother grabbed my ear and twisted it painfully. Ow, someone call CPS. Mentioning Child Protective Services earned me 2 more thwacks. Bisma went down and retrieved the slipper my mom had launched at me like a projectile, where'd she learn to throw anyway, and handed it to my mother. Thank you, Bisma dear. That's very nice of you. I'm afraid you'll have to try to succeed where I failed and civilize this one. Might be a lost cause, Bisma said. I got stuck with him. You chose him, so you've got no excuse not to try, Aisha, Jelani said, and then, still holding onto my ear, she began dragging me toward the exit. Once we were alone in the van, my mom finally let go. She swatted at my shirt to dust off the marks left by her footwear. Sorry, she said. Hope I didn't hit you too hard. There were so many other women from the community here. Dekana Parta High. I had hit you to show you them that this isn't my fault that you're turned out to be such a rascal. It's kind of your fault, though, I said. Yes, but they don't have to know that, she grinned at me. So, first kiss, hon? How was it? Looked pretty good. Mom! Oh, so now you're feeling some shame? Not when you're latching your face onto the Akram's girl in front of hundreds of people? Tell me, though, didn't I do a good thing when I found her? Yeah, Mom, you did. She was all smiles until my father came to meet us, and she saw that he was not smiling. Chapter 23. I did a horrible thing when I found this girl, Aisha Jelani said. My parents were furious. Who would have thought they'd have zero chill about a sex tape, right? Everybody. I didn't plan to tell them, of course, but my father had overheard what Kaval had said, and there was no coming back from that. It isn't your fault. Your son knew everything. Acha, once again, he is my son only, Han, who just got up in front of all those people and called him his cheetah. Not this again. Guys, I said, it's not a big deal. Not a big deal, my mother said, with a fake hysterical laugh. Did you hear that, Ahmed? He thinks he isn't a big deal. If you didn't think it was a big deal, my father demanded, then why did you hide it from us? You kept it buried like a cat buries its poop. I love this girl. No one cares about that, my mom says. Every man loves his wife. My father gave an uncertain grunt, almost involuntarily, I think, which got him a withering glare. No one's going to care about your love for her, she went on. When people hear the word sex tape, that's all they're going to be thinking about. We can't give our name to a girl who has that kind of black mark on her character. What will everyone say? What does it matter? My father held a hand to his head like it was hurting really badly. Danielle, you know we love you, but you've got to grow up, my mother said. We have to live in this world with other people. Their opinions matter, Beta. We can't just cut off our noses in front of all society because you're infatuated with this girl. Okay, my father said. I'm done talking about this. Decision is made. Daniel, you're not going to see this girl again. It's going to be hard to marry her without seeing her again. This discussion, he growled, is over. This is my house, my family. My word is law. No. My father's eyes went wider than I thought humanly possible. What did you say to me? I'm 19 years old. You can't just go to your room, my father said, his voice as quiet as death. Now. So I went to my room. Not exactly a power move, but I knew my father. There's no reasoning with him just then. I'll try again tomorrow. A text from Czar told me that I'd come in second at Renaissance Man, Natari won. He sent a few pictures of them celebrating. There'd be a time enough for me to congratulate them both. Just then, I had to warn Bisma. She did not take it well. Before I was even done telling her what my parents had said, she was crying. She just kept saying, I told you this would happen, I told you. Until Suri had to take the phone from her. This isn't fair, Danielle, Suri said. I know, I said. I'm going to fix it. Promise? Making promises is a dangerous habit to get into. It's like a drug. You think you'll do it one time, then before you know it, your word is bound to impossible tasks. Yeah, Suri, I promise. Bisma stopped showing up at the library. She stopped answering my texts and wouldn't take my calls. I sent her a long email, the longest I'd ever willingly written in my life, explaining what had happened, how I hadn't meant for her secret to get out. She didn't reply. I didn't know what to do. I was alone. I couldn't talk to Czar because I didn't want to tell him Bisma's story, and for once Sarab seemed to be out of helpful suggestions. He did tell me that Kaval felt really bad about what happened, that she hadn't meant for my father to overhear anything about Bisma, whatever. That did me no good. My parents won't talk to me about Bisma at all. They weren't talking to anyone else about her either, though, so at least her secret hadn't spread. It didn't matter much. Enough damage had been done. A week went by. Czar, who had assumed I was bummed because I lost Renaissance Man to Natari, began to suspect something else was wrong and started asking questions. I tried to avoid him, saying I didn't feel like hanging out. It was the truth. I didn't feel like doing anything, actually. It was the truth. I didn't feel like anything, actually. It was all the colors had died. It was like all the colors had died. When another week went by, Sarab suggested, as gently as he could, that maybe it was over. Maybe things did get screwed up so badly sometimes that there's nothing we can do to fix them. That night, I lay in bed and wondered if I should just ask Bisma if Sarab was right. I'd been texting constantly, though she never replied. I picked up my phone and looked at our recent conversation. All the word bubbles were mine. Please call me. I'm sorry. Call me, please. Can we please talk? Can we meet? Just let me know you're okay. She hadn't responded to any of those messages, but I still hoped to hear from her. What if I asked her if there's no chance, if it was really over like Sarab said, and it ended up being the first time she did answer? What would I do? I took a deep breath. I know I effed up. I'm so sorry. Please let me fix it. Please. I waited. Okay, I'll leave you alone. I'm sorry I keep bothering you. It's just, I love you. Nothing. I wiped the tears that fell from my eyes, dropped the phone beside me, and turned off the light in my room. Sarab had been right. I should have known. He was right about most things. It was over. I needed to sleep. The tears wouldn't stop. The tears would stop soon. Then I would sleep. It would be better in the morning, wouldn't it? I was about to close my eyes when the screen on my phone lit up. The full moon was alone in the sky when I pulled into the library parking lot. No stars were out tonight. I drove up to Bisma's Prius. She was already outside, standing next to her car, with Suri slouched over in the front seat, reluctantly playing chaperone for our midnight meeting. As I got out, I couldn't help but notice that Bisma looked pale, tired, and the skin around her eyes was swollen. Her hair was done up in a messy ponytail and, well, she looked like she was recovering from the flu or something. She smiled when she saw me, though, and I'd never seen anything that beautiful. Suri waved at me without getting out of the car. I might have waved back. It was just a little hard to think about anything but Bisma just then. You've been crying, she said softly. So have you. Bisma shrugged. I've been trying to get over a guy. Me too, I said, then frowned. I mean, you know what I mean. She stuffed her hands into the pockets of the hoodie she was wearing and was silent. Her text had just said she'd meet me at the library, so I didn't really know what she was thinking. She was here, though, at this late hour. That was something. I stepped toward her. I don't want you to get over me. Good, because I can't. I didn't know what to say to that. Bisma spared me the search for words and wouldn't have been enough to express what was in my heart anyway. She rushed towards me and wrapped her arms around my neck. I held her, buried my face in her hair. I'm sorry, I told her. You can stop saying that now, she whispered. I love you. That you should keep saying, we'd been here sooner if you said it earlier. I leaned back and stared at her. Had I never said that to her? I hadn't. She'd texted it during my speech when I had been on stage. I hadn't exactly been in a position to write back. It wasn't until earlier tonight in my last text that I actually told her. That's where you're waiting to hear, I mean? I kissed you. That's not the same thing. But you knew, right? You knew I was in love with you. But did you know? Someone once told me you're not very bright. Oh my God. You two are so extra. Suri called from the car. I realized that she had her window down. Is there a reason this couldn't wait until the morning? Did I really have to get dragged out of bed? No, it absolutely could not have waited. I was about to tell Soraya, but when Bisma asked, do you mean what you said to Suri, that you can make this right? I nodded, hopefully sounding more certain than I was. I think so. I've got a plan. Is it a good plan, Bisma asked. Of course it's a good plan, I said. Haven't you heard? I'm Renaissance man. Well, almost. And that's great, Suri called, but we can talk about it later. I'm tired. Pa, can you kiss him already so we can go home? She could. She did. What are you doing in my kitchen? I gave my mother the very best smile I could pull together. Making food. I can see that, she told me. Why so much food prep? First thing in the morning. Are you preparing for a party? Yeah, I invited the Akrams over for dinner. You did what? Danielle, your father's going to end you. Mom, help me make him understand, please. She shook her head. I'm sorry. It sounded like she meant it. I can't be with you on this, Danielle. What that girl did, it was a very big sin. And there's video evidence of it, only because someone violated her privacy and committed a crime. Why do you guys insist on punishing her? She made a choice too. Now I feel bad for her and for you. I really do, but we all have to pay for our mistakes, Beta. But how much? For how long? My mother shrugged. She never had a problem admitting when she didn't have all the answers. I can help her with the food if you want. Okay, I said. It was something. That'd be great, thank you. Like I told Bisma forever ago, food is a miracle. It just is. It has said so much over the centuries. It was probably how the first human beings expressed themselves, probably our very first gesture of friendship, of love, of caring. It was how we first spoke to animals. It's why we first developed a relationship with the earth. It is necessary and beautiful, basic and extra. So that day, when I needed a miracle, I reached for the only one that was in my power. I didn't make anything foreign. I wanted everyone to feel at home, to feel comfortable. So it had to be Desi food. Dum goat biryani with Spanish saffron and long grain basmati rice. Sikh kebab laced with a hint of ghost pepper. Chicken tikka seasoned with Iranian blue salt. Naan, which I ordered from a restaurant but brushed with my mother's homemade ghee. Ras malai with crushed pistachios, and halwa made from almonds. When it was all done, I looked at Mom and asked, do you think it will be enough? The trouble with using your food as an apology and a prayer, Beta, she said, is that you still have to bring people to your table. You've done an amazing job here, but it is your words, I think, that you'll have to rely on. Great. I'd never been good with those. The handshake between my father and Mr. Akram was tense. I thought for a minute there when Bisma's tall, distinguished father extended his arm, but my dad wouldn't take it. He looked at it like it was a thing to be mistrusted. You should have told us, Mr. Akram, about your daughter's situation. We told your boy, if you have a complaint, it isn't against us. They both turned to look at me. I waved at them a little. Obviously, they didn't wave back. Bisma looked hollowed out. Her eyes were still swollen from weeping, and she wouldn't look up at anyone, not even me. I didn't want to think about the things that had probably been said to make her look like that. I'd seen how harsh her father could be, and convincing him to come here must have been ridiculously difficult. As Soraya walked past me, following our families into the formal living room, she whispered, tell me you got this. I got this, I said, absolutely zero confidence. Suri's smile in response was equally weak. We all sat in the tense silence together. The only sound in the house was the tinkling of glass against glass as Mom served pineapple juice. She gestured for me to start talking. So, I said, trying out a wide smile that no one returned. I guess I'm just going to say things. I have this friend, Saurabh, who spends way too much time at the mosque, and I don't mean to sound like I think that's a bad thing, but it isn't for everyone, and there's a point to this, Mr. Akram. Is there a point to this, Mr. Akram demanded. Let him speak. Bisma's voice was paper thin, and she managed nothing more than a whisper, but there was enough anger in it to cut and draw blood. I've always been surprised that paper can do that. Her father fell silent, and I gave her a grateful look. Well, I went on. Sarab asked me to come to a lecture at the mosque once. I learned about this thing called Quaba Salim. Have you heard of it? A pure heart, Dad said. What about it? The Quran says that on the day of judgment, people will only be saved if they've got one of these. How does that apply to anything? It applies to everything. Mom, don't you see? If Allah is going to look at your heart, don't you think he's going to look at my heart and Bisma's heart? I caught Bisma's gaze. He'll look at them all. And when this God that we worship, the source of all love, of all justice, looks at her heart and finds it broken, what do you think he'll do? Ignore it? I think maybe he'll wonder who dared to break it and why. What will any of you do then? In silence, that answered my question. Bisma took a long, shuddered breath. I know I'm not, wise or whatever, but the way I see it, by punishing people for what we judge to be sins, by hurting them, we all become sinners. The only thing we have to do with other people is to be careful with their hearts, that's all. Who is forgiven, who is punished, it's not our business. No one would look me in the eye, well, except for Suri, who grinned and gave me a thumbs up. Anyway, I said, that's what I believe. No one has to agree with me, but that's why I don't care what anyone says about Bisma. Anyone who has anything to say about her should have 100 things to say about themselves. I'm not going to let this amazing girl that I'm lucky enough to be in love with go because of opinions of hypocrites. I got up and walked over to where Bisma was sitting next to Soraya and knelt down before her like I've done all those months ago when her father had been so cruel. Hi, I said. She sniffled and didn't say anything. You have the most beautiful face pond in all the world. Bisma sort of sobbed and chuckled at the same size. Will you marry me? Her eyes started to drift from mine, searching for her parents and my parents. Listen, I said, look at me. I didn't ask them. I asked you. What do you want? Do you want to marry me? She nodded, fresh tears falling from her eyes.